Hello and welcome to Quick Start to Coding with Swift. Please may I introduce my co-host, Matt. Matt Hanlon is a long-time software developer, coach, teacher and dad in Ireland.
Thanks, Steve. And may I introduce Steve Bunce, an author, teacher, associate lecturer and dad in the northeast of England.
Thanks, Matt. Today we are looking at functions. When we find ourselves using a sequence of commands often, or in a unique pattern, we will want to group these commands together to form our own new command. We call this a function. So we're both very excited. Let's get started. Welcome to the unplugged part of the session. This is Jimu, the MeBot, doing a very special dance and following a set of instructions to do that dance. Hold it there, Jimu. Oh, good stance. So, during EU Code Week, we have a special piece of music which has been composed called the Ode to Code, and also we have a special dance which goes with it, and today we're going to learn that dance and follow the steps to do it. Now, a dance is a form of an algorithm, and we've been learning about how you take steps to do the algorithm. The more precisely you follow those steps, the more accurate the outcome will be, and the better your dance. So, to learn the Ode to Code dance, our first step is to put both hands up in the air. Now, with both arms up in the air, you then flop forward as though you were asleep, or if you've been switched off. And then on. And with your left hand, we'll go down and round to your head, and your right hand down and round to your head again. And we do a little shake. Next step is to put your left hand down, and then go down, up. And then we repeat that but a bit faster, down, up. And as we do that, we then jump to the right. So we're going to turn right 90 degrees. And then we do that move again. So down, up, and jump back to the front. And we bring our left arm up and we start again. So switched off and on, left arm down and round, right arm down and round, little shake. Left arm down, up faster, and jump to your right, down, up faster, and jump back round to the front, and back up, ready to start again. So are you ready, Jimu? Shall we do that together? Are you ready? Arms up, off, on, down and round, little shake, one arm down, up, down, up, down, up, back to the front, arms up, off, on, down and round, little shake, arm down, up, down, back round to the front, arms up, and ready to go. Off, on, arm round, little shake, and then arm down, up, jump, down, up, back round to the front, and arm up, and there we go. So thanks, Jimu. Now, here I don't have enough room to do this dance, so I think I'm going to go outside and do some dancing. So we'll have some music, and we'll do the dance, and see if you can follow along those steps of the algorithm. Are you ready? Oh, I think I need my special dancing shirt to go out. So I shall see you in a moment, and let's go dancing. Well, wasn't that fun? Whew. Great dancing, everyone. So today we've been thinking about an algorithm and the steps which form the algorithm. A dance is like an algorithm, and if you follow those steps precisely, then you too can be an excellent dancer. So thank you all and keep dancing.
Okay, now that is a very, very tough act to follow. Steve, I think you're a TikTok star in the making, and hopefully the classrooms out there joining in as well have a bunch of TikTok stars in the making. So now we're going to move over to coding, and we're going to jump back into Swift Playgrounds where we were yesterday. This one's a bit of a special day because we're going to use a playground from a third-party source. So yesterday we were working with Learn to Code 1, which is a playground provided by Apple, a great way to learn how to code. The one we're going to use today is called MeBot 2.0 Dances. So the way we get that is we go down to See All in More Playgrounds. And if you haven't subscribed already, you're going to have to go down to the very bottom of the screen here, and we're going to have to swipe over in this section from other publishers. And we're going to swipe over, and we're going to find the UB Tech Jimu Robots feed. So if you tap on that square, you're going to get a little blurb about the playground feed and the chance to subscribe to it. In this case, I've already subscribed to it, so I can hit done, and I can see it right here. There are lots of great third-party playground feeds out there. Spiro has some excellent playgrounds to interact with their robot, just like this one will interact with a robot here. And we've got other ones. In fact, I've got my own from the Code Hub here. So we're going to be working with the MeBot 2.0 Dances playground. So we're going to tap on that Get button and download that playground. And I'm going to launch it right here. I've got one I've already downloaded. It just tells me it's come from a third party. Are we sure we want to open it? Definitely. And we're going to get a little introduction to the MeBot that Steve was dancing with in the previous segment. So I don't happen to have one here, but that's handy because maybe you don't have one as well. So we're actually just going to work with the on-screen MeBot that we see in these playgrounds. And we're going to learn how to program dance moves with this robot. We can see some code here that maybe looks a little bit familiar from yesterday. We see some commands. And it tells us that the Learn to Code 1 playground is a prerequisite for this playground. It does get a little bit more advanced, but we're going to walk through it pretty slowly. And hopefully it'll make a bit of sense by the time we're done. So let's start. All right, so the very first thing that'll happen is it's going to ask us if we wanted to use Bluetooth. This is to connect to an actual MeBot robot if you happen to have one. I'm going to say don't allow because I don't have one here. But if you do have a MeBot robot, you'll see this Connect MeBot 2.0 up in the upper right-hand corner. That's how you would actually find your MeBot robot. And for this first playground, it gives us, just like we saw in Learn to Code 1, it gives us a bit of explanatory text. And our goal here is just to connect to our MeBot and see it perform, see a dance performed by it. So if I look down here at the code, we've got a command called dance. That's a new one to us that they've written for this playground. I'm going to hit run my code to see what happens. Okay, so it's a fairly complex dance. You can see that our MeBot robot over here is actually doing a lot of different moves just from calling this one simple command. Now, what happened is someone wrote this command called a function, which describes a series of steps that we want the MeBot to perform. And you can see it's a long series of steps. So by us only calling this one command, dance, we actually got the MeBot to perform a ton of different moves. That's what we're going to be able to do. We had a question yesterday about commands and how are commands written. So, okay, we're calling commands and we can write code to call commands, but how are commands called? Well, this is where functions come in. Let's go on to the next page now that we've seen our MeBot do a dance and use a function. So here, what we're going to do is we're just going to write a few Swift commands to make MeBot dance. Swift Playgrounds helps us out and lets us know what commands are available to us by having them show up down here in the autocomplete bar. So we've got a few. I can tap on these here and drag over, and I'll see that I've got a load of different moves. Let's start out with, maybe we'll start out with happy, move left, and then move right. And we'll see what these commands do. Just like yesterday, as it mentions here, we're ordering these commands in a certain sequence. So there we go. That's the happy dance. And then let's see, move left and right. Okay, not bad. Just like in Learn to Code 1, there's some hints here as well. So we can tap on hint. So it's good. Keep practicing. Use at least 8 dance moves. All right, so we've got a bit of work to do. Let's add in swing. Let's add in twist. Then we'll move to the left, move to the right, and maybe give a greeting at the end. Is that 8? I think we're good. We'll hit the play button. Now, can you spot where we are in the commands? I'm trying to use those move left and move right commands as my markers. Maybe we're on to swing now, and then twist. Not bad. Okay. So those are our series of commands. Let's see if we completed it at the end. There's our greeting. Excellent. Now we know how to use basic commands. So that's a lot like what we did yesterday. We used these commands to solve the puzzle. The puzzle here was we need to have a sequence of 8 steps, 8 dance steps we wanted to perform. Let's go on to the next page to learn a little bit about functions. So when I got the question, where do commands come from, I was very excited because I knew that we were going to address that today. So this over here is how we define a function. So we can write our own commands. We had another question yesterday about how do I turn right? Am I able to turn right in Learn to Code 1? Well, we only had certain commands available to us, like move forward, turn left, toggle switch, and collect gem, just those 4. Now, if we find ourselves wanting to turn right more often than not, we could write the command that would handle that. Can you guess how you'd turn right if I only had move forward, collect gem, turn left, and toggle switch available to me? If you can guess, write the answer in the comments, and we'll see who's got it right by the end of the show. So back over here, what we're going to do is we're actually going to define our own dance routine. So it says here, use a function to create a dance routine for MeBot 2.0. So it's just a series of planned steps, just like Steve's series of planned steps. If we were going to do the EU Code Week series, I've actually written down the algorithm here. It says both arms up, both down, both up, left hand down and around to your head, and all the steps that Steve walked us through in the unplugged section. That's how we design an algorithm, and that's how we plan out our code. So in this case, for my dance routine, I would do things like both arms up, both down. I don't have those available to me right now. All I have are these commands available to me. So let's start out with a greeting for my dance routine. That's how I want every dance to start. We'll have a crazy dance. We'll have a little move forward, or move backward, move forward, and then cheer. That'll be my dance routine. And let's run our code. So the way this works is we're just defining all these commands, a sequence of commands. We're giving it a name. We use a special keyword called func to say, hey, Swift, remember this for later. I'm going to call my function my dance routine. And you notice we use the same syntax that we used yesterday. We have our words kind of smashed together and the first letter of each word capitalized. So my space dance space routine becomes my dance routine, all one word. And then the way we call that later, after we've defined our sequence, is we just say my dance routine followed by these parentheses. And that's how we write our own commands. So let's run our code and see our dance routine in action. All right, so there's our greeting. Okay, there's our crazy dance. Okay, there we go, we're moving around. And I believe that's our cheer. So that's our dance routine. Now, if we wanted to change this and we wanted to say, actually, we're using this my dance routine everywhere, we're just going to tweak it a little bit. Maybe we don't need to end on the cheer. Let's try running it again. And we'll see that it's a much shorter dance routine. And I only had to change it in one place. I could call my dance routine over and over again, and it'll always leap up here and step through that sequence of code. Okay, there's our crazy dance. There's our move backward. And our move forward. One last thing before we leave this function. So if we go and we hit the X to get out the hint out of the way, I'm going to tap on the speedometer because I want to step through this code so I can see how it's being run. So if I tap on step through my code, we're going to see the caret jumps over all of this and down to here first, and then jumps back up here. And it's doing the crazy dance now. We can see because the caret is highlighting that line. Now it's moved down to move backward. And now it's moved down to move forward. And then we're done. This is an interesting way to watch your code get executed because you can see that when you read code, it's maybe not always straight up and down. You might have a bit more jumping around to do now that you've got functions defined. Oh, that's true. Yeah. So if we wanted to screen record our dance moves for our MeBot, yeah, we could do that under here, under the three dots. You can go up here and choose record movie, as well as take picture if you have a playground that just kind of looks well in pictures. This is a great opportunity to record a movie to show off your code, especially to relatives, maybe abroad or even in the next town over you just can't get to see. Recording a movie is a great way to show off some of your coding skills. If you're posting it online for any of your classes, feel free to share it with hashtag Code Week, hashtag Everyone Can Code, and hashtag Swift Playgrounds. So this is a function. This is where we define our own set of steps. And then the really nice thing about that is that I can just call my dance routine whatever I want now in this playground because I've already laid it out and I don't have to worry about all the different steps that I've created there. So let's go on to the next page. This is where we can make our own moves. So this is where we can create more complex dance moves for MeBot. And this is where we get a lot more fine-grained control over MeBot. And the exercise for you is going to be to try to make MeBot do as close to the EU Code Week dance as possible. So we have some additional power in our functions. So in the previous page, I just defined a sequence of steps and I can call my dance routine and it'll always run the same thing. This is a really powerful aspect of functions here where we say move left arm. We have our open parentheses. We have the word angle followed by a colon. And then we have this little placeholder here. If I tap in the placeholder, I can type in numbers here because I can define the angle that I want to move the left arm to. So let's try moving it to 45 degrees. Now we also have, if we go tap here on this blue piece of text, this will show you the different ranges that you can type into that box for the different joints for the robot. So you can see the left arm, the minimum angle is minus 110, the maximum angle is 75, and so on. If that makes no sense to you, the beautiful thing about this is you can actually just type them in and see the robot put its arm at 45 degrees or 75 degrees. So you can actually try it out and feel it. We also have this move body function where it behaves a little bit like when we define a function. We just want to list a sequence of steps that we want to have the MeBot do. So the first command that we're running is move left arm, and we're telling it that we want to do it at an angle of 45 degrees. And now we want to move the body. So let's move our feet for this one. We've moved the arm already. Let's move our feet. So we'll do the same thing. We'll move our feet just a little bit. And then we'll start typing in our next one. Maybe we'll move right foot. I need my parentheses, so I'll tap the H and drag down to type in angle, but I'm having some problems. Can anybody spot where I'm going wrong already? Let's do the same. Let's do 35. So I'm just tapping on these letters here at the top and dragging down to get my numbers. But I've got this dreaded red dot. So let's hide the keyboard for a second and find out what's going on. What did I do wrong here? So if I tap on the red dot, it'll say, oh, insert a comma. And there's a fix button. That's kind of nice. That's handy. If I tap on that, this is not quite going to do what I want it to do. I can tap fix again and see maybe if that helps. That doesn't look like it's going to help. I still have that red dot. If I tap on it again, it's telling me expected argument type double. Now I'm completely lost. So tell you what, we can do one of two things. We can either reset the page like we saw yesterday by going up here to the three dots and choosing to reset the page. I'm going to try to delete it and try to muscle through here. So I'm going to delete beats because that was something we added just with that fix button. Sometimes the magic fix button works, sometimes it doesn't. We'll delete that. We'll delete back up to angle. We'll say 25 again because we want to move the left foot at a 25-degree angle. When I call this function, I need to have the matching pairs of parentheses. So I've called move left foot angle, just like up here, after the number, I need to have a closing parentheses. So I'm going to go tap on the J and drag down to the left. Now I've still got some extra stuff here. I've got this colon at the end. I don't want that. So we'll delete that. I'm going to go to the front of move right foot. And I'm going to hit return. And I'm going to tap the M so I have the full name of the method typed out. And let's see. It's still complaining. What's it complaining about? Saying it needs to be separated by a semicolon. Okay, well, I'm not going to tap the fix button because that didn't work out so well for us last time. If I read this line, it says move right foot. I've got my opening parentheses. I've got my parameter, is what this is called. It's a value that you can pass into a function that might make it do something special. I've got my colon. I've got the number that I'm specifying the angle to be. I've got my closing parentheses, and then I've got an extra closing parentheses. So let's try deleting that. Swift is very particular, like nearly every programming language. You have to be very specific how you tell it what to do. If you have any stray characters or anything, Swift isn't going to know what it is exactly you want it to do. So we have to make sure that we're very precise the way we're talking to the device. So now I've gotten rid of the red dot. Let's try running this. So there we go. We're running it. We moved our left arm and our left and right foot at the same time. So these two commands get run at the very same time. Not too bad. So this goes to show you just the very hints, the very beginnings of the power of functions. We're going to go address those again more and more as we go through the rest of the week. This is a hugely important concept in programming in general. It's definitely worth going back to the second page, my dance routine, playing around with this function. You can even go back to the very first page and try defining your own function that looks like the one on the second page. A lot of coders copy and paste stuff just to learn how things work, and it's a great strategy for you. So that's a quick show of the MeBot 2.0 Dances Playground. Spend a bit of time, play around with.
Try and see what dance moves you can come up with. It's all about building patterns. It's all about spelling out our moves that we'd like to take and turning them into functions we can reuse again later.
I understand we had somebody work through the paper origami exercise yesterday. Is that right? Yeah, let's check them out.
guys, it's Chunky Cat here. Look at this. I got 2 people inside of there.
What was hard about making it and following the algorithm?
The full one.
Which part?
All of it. But I managed to get that with the teacher's help.
So that's our session for today. I hope you've gotten some good dancing in. I hope you've got up a good sweat like Steve has. We'll see you again tomorrow. Can't wait to get back to you tomorrow. And more dancing, more coding. Have fun.